I apologize.
Yeah, no
Okay,
worries, no worries. You were right. It was actually recording earlier, but it was because I configured automation not to use like a native Zoom recording versus
I apologize.
yeah,
Okay.
no worries, no worries. You were right. It was actually re so now we're live on YouTube as well.
Okay, perfect. So what's going to happen? My name's Lee Reich. I'm from Shedwood Films, and we're going to be doing a little information gathering for people who don't know that their lockers have been destroyed. And we're going to be using this sheet here to call out numbers, and then we're going to make a spreadsheet afterwards and see if we can find out who these people are. Because basically, I'll recap real quick. In February, we had superstorms that knocked out dumped water in all these containers, and all my studio and memorabilia got destroyed where I'm trying to digitize it. And these people yet. So we were just starting going down this way to call out lockers, and number 654 was the first locker. 653 is a square. This one was already painted. That one was painted, and that one was painted. I don't think that's their locker. So 672. Normally they have one locker, but most people have circulars. So let's call it 672, 671. That one was painted. That one was not. 669. Follow me, guys? So that one was painted and that one was painted. Now we will go around this way. When I was here 3 weeks ago, the guy over here on the direct opposite side of my locker had discovered that they had moved all his stuff from inside to the outside and then destroyed it. And we're sorry about that, Brendan, that we had to inform you. But I tried to explain to him that they hadn't called anyone. Ooh, there's your lucky locker number 666. And that is a circular. Locker number 666. All right. Everything you own is destroyed. 665, circular. Painted. 663. Painted. 661. So we have the list going. Boom. So yeah, the circular lock at 661. I think 650 was painted. 649 was painted. Number 648 will be number 7. Oh wait, 8, 9. I'm sorry, 648 is number 9. So I estimated 10 to 15. We're at 648. Double lockers. 647. So we're at number 10. Number 11, number 12. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Some things in life you don't want to see. So yeah, the song, all I want to say that they don't really care about us is because these people all have destroyed stuff. So we had 648, 647. The circular, 646. Because if they were like me and they had 2 lockers next to each other, it's just so much stuff, just soaked. Square lock, I think that one was painted. But this little pink lock doesn't look the standard. We'll just call 644 as maybe painted. I'll put a question mark next to it. Nobody ever has a little tiny piggy lock. usually. Blue lock, that's painted. It doesn't put it in these flying pieces up there by less. Crazy. National Geographic. Right above the airport in Rio. Going right in. Okay, 641 was painted. So now we're just going to go down the last line here. Number 13, number 14. I think my estimate of 15 might have been right on the number. I don't know if it's painted, but there's a bunch of stuff flying on it like they want some. That doesn't look like they're locked, but they could have run out. So 639. I don't ever remember seeing it painted. 638. We have blocker 638. 637. It's actually worse than I thought, Rome. Number 16. 636. 638. 37. 636. Blue locker was painted, blue locker was painted, blue locker was painted. So all these lockers were finished before I found out. And number 631. And it looks like 630 is the blue lock that's painted. So that's 17 people. Or 10 people if they have double lockers like me. But they just still don't know. Because ideally, the way this works is they want to collect your rent. And they want you to keep paying your rent and not let you know that your stuff's destroyed, because by the time you file your insurance claim and find out the overseas insurance company doesn't know who you are, and literally the guy sent me a letter, said, "Dear sir or madam," didn't even care enough about my situation to even get my gender correctly. So I let him know. We actually did this on the back of a cool poster. Anyways, it worked out. We have lots here. Rome, what's up? Let me check in with you real quick.
Yeah, so Lee,
Flip the camera,
tell us a
and
little
we'll
bit
talk
more
about this a little.
about the situation. So what exactly are you doing with the lockers right now? So this way you can hear what is
I'm
going
trying
on.
to flip my camera actually while I jump around. Oh, why is
So I think we have Lee disconnecting just now, guys, but hopefully he's gonna join back in. But Lee is reporting live from LA next to Hollywood, and yeah, let's go ahead and bring him in. Welcome back, Lee. So
sorry about that. I accidentally slipped on my phone here.
yeah, so tell
So
us what's going on exactly inside of with the storage lockers. What exactly are you doing? So this way audience can
well,
have
if I opened up my locker right now, you'd see there's like lots of mold and mildew and everything's destroyed because all my boxes and cables. I was going to try to bring the record player out and set up a lab, but I'm going to just kind of make it short tonight because my friend's helping me film, and we got all the information we needed. This is why we're here, because we want them to know that these people in 654, 672, 671, 669, 666, 665, 663, 661, 648, 647, 646, 644, maybe 639, 638, 637, 636, and 631. Who are these people? And wouldn't you think they'd be a little upset to find out a few months ago it was too late? Because when I was here in April and I was stranded without my car 1 month, I could see the difference in the amount of damage that was done. The devastation to equipment, furniture. Like we just towed my couch around the corner and we filled the whole dump area, but they weren't giving me any place to dispose stuff, and there's no place to have clean space. So we started using the bus for a while, and it got a little too out of control there. And the mobile studio that I'm trying to rebuild has a lot of cleaning, fine cleaning of some of the synthesizers and equipments. So it's a little harder. But trying to help other people understand or find them. Hopefully, this broadcast and these numbers will connect to somebody once we kind of work it out onto the internet more. But I had to have the details of these numbers because their blue locks and the circle locks tell me who's who in the lockout. But they basically locked my stuff, so I couldn't use the locker next to me that was being painted. And at first they said I couldn't, and they said I couldn't. So it's been very confusing for me, besides the side effects of the mold poisoning pills.
Gotcha.
Uh,
So, long story short, you had some bunch of equipment inside of storage units, and it all got destroyed because it was not, I guess it was not, there was no roof in the storage lockers.
yeah, if you look, can you see the roof of the storage? There's no roof. They're just
Wow.
storage containers out in the open.
How's it even possible?
It's totally possible. They rent these containers, and then the people don't know that when it rains really heavy. I mean, some nights it's really moist out here because we're by the ocean in Camarillo, California. This is Ventura County. We're by the sea. And so the sea, I mean, I had rust and corrosion and all kinds of stuff going on the metals of some of my synthesizers. Like I was trying to sand the EMU synthesizer today, my EMU 5000 sampler. And I was trying to sand the bottom of it because I couldn't understand what was going on with the corrosion. Like it's still getting eaten away.
Gotcha. And was that information disclosed by the commercial property owners of the storage unit?
What do you mean disclosed? Like that your stuff will all be destroyed?
Well, where did they disclose when they rented out the storage unit to you that there is no roof on top of the storage unit?
It wasn't really a discussion. It was just I was trying to move in an eviction during my Lord of the Slums movie, and I didn't think I'd reawaken the Lord of the Slums movie to tell this story. But in my Hemp for Victory Chronicles movie, I did the identity theft of doctors and a bunch of patients having fake letters, and it ended up at the Department of Consumer Affairs and then the medical board. But in this case, this is more like an insurance scheme because the insurance company is a container insurance company overseas. And so what's happening is some guy who doesn't even know who you are anywhere is basically just saying, well, mold and mildew. And he's ignoring the fact that they didn't fix my door and that I'm not getting, reasonable accommodations because the trash was so far. I had to bring help out here just to get those couches all the way out to the trash. And that's like a huge walk. If I took you like for the walk with me, it'd be like, it's ridiculous. Nobody should have to push that far,
So basically what you're saying, you don't recall if they disclosed or did not disclose if there was a roof, but what you're saying, everything got destroyed because of mold and other
Is it cool if
people.
I take them on a quick walk out to the trash area? I'm going to take them on a walk to the trash area, show them how far it is real quick. So what happens here is that they wanted me to push all of my trash from those two containers, two full containers, as we go. And they have me walking the power all the way out from here. And the first two nights that I remember when I fell in the comic books, Rome, when we were on our first calls getting ready to launch this, it's because they didn't run this power line down here that I have to run every night because if I leave it out, they'll just roll it back up. And so I'm all the way down there, right? So when I push the trash, got to take the trash all the way down here, right? and push it this far. This isn't even. And to me, that's not a reasonable accommodation because literally now that I'm mold poisoned, I mean, I'm pretty kind of disabled. I've been exhausted the last few nights trying to clean this all up because they made me take it all home. So I took it in my car, I took it into my studio, and I got myself mold poisoning. And that was pretty bad.
Lee, you
Excuse me.
didn't have to take that to your house, right?
Huh?
You didn't. How did they say? How did they make you? I mean, you didn't have to
I
take
mean,
it to your house,
here's
right?
the thing. Their contract is so vague and the insurance is so vague that it does say no mildew, but this is water damage and they're not calling it water damage because he says there's no damage to the roofs. I'm all, there are no roofs. So that defies the logic. Secondly, there's usually someone here who lives on site. You see how far we are? Can you imagine pushing every piece of trash? Like I dumped like a whole bunch of tapes and cassettes and everything all the way back there one on the first days. It's just, this is such an exhaustive walk all the way to the front, you know? And see, now we're just getting to the trash area and they're going to yell at me and say, why did I put my couches in the trash? I'm because they didn't give me any clean space unless I signed a release. And so they're going to see this in the morning and be like, we don't think you can do that. But I'm not sure if you can see that or not. That's my couch.
Yeah, I could see that, Lee. Yeah. So basically, it's a lot of all your couches inside of the trash container, right?
Yeah. And the rest of my furniture, like literally since I started this, those two box springs in the back have not been disposed.
Gotcha.
So I have inadequate disposal. I have no clean space. And obviously, this walk all the way from front to the back is ridiculous, right?
So let me ask you this question. So because of the roof, because of there's no water, I guess because of
They're
all.
not willing to accept that I complained in 2020 to have them fix the door latch at my first rent increase. And that's in writing. I said, don't raise the rent until you can fix my lock. And I asked the manager during COVID, and she said the guy's not around for a couple of weeks. And I said, well, when he gets back, have him take care of it. But yeah, the fact that the guy doesn't understand there's no roofs, little confusing.
Gotcha. So basically, you were rented out a storage unit without a roof. That was not originally disclosed. You got mold poison, and now you're having to deal with the situation where you have to throw away all your stuff because they didn't accommodate you with an empty space.
And get nothing for it. Now there's no money for the insurance. They're
And
like,
you
oh,
got
your
no money
insurance
for
denied you.
insurance.
Sorry.
So the insurance was a situation. Why was the situation? Why did the insurance decline?
They said that there was no roof damage.
They said there was no roof damage because there's no roof.
There was no damage to the roof,
Gotcha. But
but there's no roof. And that's what I told the guy. But they don't understand that water and rainwater leaks into these containers because there is no roof. So yeah, the logic is messed up because right next to these containers, these are the people who have regular storage lockers, you
no,
know, with the rolling doors.
but there is roof, right? It's just the
Mhm.
fact that there's
Yeah.
holes
But
inside
I
of them.
watched it and I filmed it one night on a moist night and the water's just dripping down off the top of there.
Okay,
So in my container,
we're
if you
dealing
look at the
here.
top,
So we're
you
dealing
see
here
the
with
rust.
waterproofing situation. So the rust is definitely there, but in the contract that you signed, Lee, when you got the storage, did it say anything about the fact that, this is don't store any valuable items because we're gonna have some because it's not really designed for
Yeah,
that.
kind of in not so many words, it says don't store anything here. But when you're being evicted and you have to put everything in there because you're going to go move into your car, it's a little different. before I got the RV and the mobile studio started, you know?
Gotcha. So if they already disclosed and they did say that do not store anything valuable and you still did it, so doesn't it kind of, you know,
Well, it wasn't explained to me because I was coming in at the end of the night in a hurry. So
gotcha.
all that fine print goes right out the door.
But needless to say, it's still in a contract, correctly?
It is, but it's vague and it's repetitive and it's unclear because it doesn't say what to do when they destroy all your stuff, like giving you clean space or trying to get out. So, and again, they were trying to put a lien on my destroyed property. I paid the rent this month for the half of it. And so I paid for the insurance and I asked them to raise the insurance, but they just kept ignoring me. And so I called the president of the company, and his second guy in line called me, but didn't send back an email after we had discussed everything. So I have to wait till tomorrow to see what they say.
Gotcha.
But under the circumstances, they're probably going to yell at me, or Tamara's going to yell at me because we put the couches in the trash. And I told her I'm trying to make one clean space out of my containers and one dirty space, but trying to clean one container alone. If I opened up the doors right now and you'd see it, you'd be like, oh my God, you're screwed. And so I'm just going to try to maybe grab the records out of each locker because each locker has different records in vinyl. But the problem with paper, and I have a friend who was telling me, I have a DJ, Frankie Ho, who's on my record, Scrub Frog at Tishophobia. Frankie Ho, the DJ, says his friend goes into, the flood zones during Katrina and starts pulling out records from houses. So yeah, you lose the paper, but you can still transfer the record. And I actually brought a bunch of records back that I'd taken back before that we were starting to transfer on the bus, and they didn't warp in the heat, so we got lucky because it's been about 100 every day out here.
Gotcha. So your plan is to grab the vinyl records and then digitize them on top of the bus, correct?
Yeah. And actually, one of my Metallica CDs, one of my favorite, Into the Never live concert, because the first one, Binge and Purge, I sold that at the flea market the day after when I came out in April. So I had already been purging, selling
Gotcha.
comics and everything else. But it's mind blowing to think that there are people here who still don't know all their properties destroyed.
Gotcha.
And so when the guy showed up on the other side of the locker, I had to explain to him, I knew since April. Did they call you? So it answered my question when I asked them if they stopped renting lockers, but they didn't tell the customers, they're just doing it to take the rent money. And I think that's unethical.
Gotcha. So I
Besides
think,
losing everything of mine for a fake insurance policy that I already paid for.
gotcha. So
But the
there's
state of
definitely,
California says that they can't make decisions about insurance and force insurance on you. But I have an email from them saying that my car insurance for something that I tried to put in wasn't good enough.
Mhm.
And so I had to keep paying for their fake insurance.
And
And when I call upon it
doesn't
for the
cover
policy, they're
anything.
like, no. And so it took several weeks. The guy wouldn't respond. And last Thursday, I found out that he was denying it. And everyone disappeared who I needed to get in contact with here in the company. So I started moving to the top of the company. It turns out that TNT Management is a pretty large company. They manage several storage facilities, mostly these my storage spaces, all the way out to Las Vegas. And we have to try to get the word out to find out who the people are. And again, we're going to have to write it down. I was going to try to put it down in cats, but 654 672 671 669 666 665 663 661 648 647 646 644 is a question mark. 639 638 637 636 and number 17 631. So I said 15 to 20. That's about right.
Gotcha.
We're at
So your
17.
plan is, Lee, is to notify all the storage people who have the properties in there that everything is destroyed, basically.
Right. So the trick is here, though, without them knowing, just by their locker numbers, we have to see if we can find those people through the locker numbers and the and some kind of social media campaign. I'm still working on it because I was just going to go under their locker and stick a QR code sticker so they could just kind of go to a landing page that says, this is what happened, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you could create a QR code and basically print the QR code and stick it to the locker, and then we could connect the QR code to Go High Level. And
did I get
basically,
659? Oh, I missed some. I didn't go this way through the rest of them. Uh-oh.
so Lee,
Um,
I'm gonna leave this broadcast live. You continue because I do gotta get some sleep. I gotta get up
no, it's
early
all good. I
tomorrow.
think we can call it here. I just had a couple more lockers to get. I got 654.
Sounds good, Lee. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. We got
65.
the recording available on YouTube, and
Okay, yeah. So 659 was the last locker.
okay,
659.
cool. So
Thank
we
you
got
so much. That's
yeah.
number 18.
All right, sounds good, Lee. I'll talk to you later.
Thank
Bye.
you guys.
Yeah.
Catch you next time.